welcome to In Heels with Keni Silva. And today we have a special guest, a beautiful woman who is an actress, producer, who is a creator, and also she owns a beauty brand. Look at this. Diana Madison. Hello, Diane.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. First of all,
Thank you.
Huge fan of you.
Oh.
I'm so proud of you that you're doing this show. We talk all the time, so I'm excited to talk on camera because we do this a lot off camera. So I'm so proud of you. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you so much. And I'm so happy you're here because you have such a beautiful life of making dreams come true. And I love that.
You're like that.
I know, but it's, you know, you get inspired from other women when you see them and you're like, oh my God, she's not just one thing. That's what I hate. I hate when you just have one label, like you're either an author or you're an actress, or I can do it all. And you definitely did it all. So you started as a YouTuber, which I didn't even know.
Yeah, it's so crazy because when I started, I wanted to be a TV host. And listen, like when I was young, I wanted to be an actress. Telling your Armenian parents, Russian Armenian parents, I want to be an actress, it's like, yeah, right, get out of here, right? It's like you're a lawyer or you're a doctor and nothing else. But I was really passionate about it. And when I was graduating, I studied communication, I studied theater, and then of course I did political science for my mom and dad. But when I graduated college, I got a job at Entertainment Tonight, and I was like, no, I want to get into hosting. It's the closest thing to acting. I'm on camera. I get to like be, you know, myself on camera and show my personality. And at that time, it wasn't a world where they had diverse faces, right? Or like diverse names, or, you know, what's Armenian? They were like, is that a food? Like nobody knew what that was because it was so exotic and ethnic. But I just had this dream and I was like, what am I gonna do? And Ryan Seacrest was doing this competition for E-News. E-News just got canceled, but where I'm talking about, like about 15 years ago, E-News was like where I wanted to be. I wanted to be a host on E-News. I had done an internship there, and at the time, the host, Juliana Rancic, said to me, you want to be a host? Learn how to do everything. So Ryan Seacrest does this competition, Be on the Red Carpet. And you have to interview someone and upload it on YouTube. And so I did it. Like I'm like, interviewer, cameraman, like I was all of the jobs, right? So I interviewed my girlfriend at her clothing boutique and I upload this video on YouTube. At that time, YouTube wasn't what it is today. It was where you went because someone sent you an email and you click on the link. It's a funny cat video. And then you would like go on, see this cat video, and there's like 50 emails in the email, and that was it. But what happened was I didn't win the competition. Somebody else won, but this video on YouTube gets a lot of views. Like, and I don't understand why, because the lighting doesn't work. It was dark. The audio didn't work. It was like a fake mic. And I was my own cameraman. Like literally the camera was just standing there. Like, I'm like, okay, hi, right? But somehow people resonated to that interview. I was like, wait, there's something here. So I walked out of my job at Entertainment Tonight. Well, I got fired, but I did walk out.
They were same thing.
Same thing. Walk out, fired. He dumped you.
I mean,
like,
you had to walk out after you get fired. Like either way, it was the same direction.
Right. It's kind of like he dumped you. No, I dumped him. I walked out of the relationship. Like, right, one of those. They fired me, and I walked out. And I took my Rolodex with me, and I'm like, what am I going to do? And then I just started messaging everyone I met at Entertainment Tonight. And I was like, get me on the red carpet. They're like, but what are you doing? And then I was like, I have a blog. I have a YouTube channel. And people were like, I like you, Diana. You know, we work with each other at Entertainment Tonight. I like you, but I still don't understand what you're doing. So people started putting me on the red carpet to do interviews. And, you know, it just took off from there.
Wow.
And one interview led to, so here's a funny story. Within time, I do this interview with the actors from the movie Transformer, which coincidentally happens to be a Paramount Studio movie, which was where Entertainment Tonight was, where I got fired. And Ryan Seacrest posts it on his morning radio show. The guy who, you know, I didn't win the competition. That video makes the blog go viral, makes the YouTube channel go viral. So life is just so funny. And, you know, now where I'm at 15 years later, I sold my digital media studios. The year we sold it, we did 21 billion views. And I was hosting 10 shows a week. We were doing 150 shows a week. And I just
150 shows?
A week. Yeah.
And it's all about red carpet, or it was just
like,
different?
It was different shows. We had a sports channel. There was like entertainment channel. So it was like celebrity interviews, or there was just like news. Like it was mostly news for sports. And and there was like a channel called Nerdwire, which was like fun content, like ratings off of shows and stuff. So when we sold it, I felt like it was a time for me to pivot because I was doing YouTube for 15 years and I just wasn't doing, it's like funny because you become successful and then you don't do what you love. You know, success becomes numbers.
Well, it's like when you know you're at the top, this is the time either you change the direction
right, you have to
or
pivot.
you start.
Yes. So it's funny because when I got to that point, everything was about numbers. It was not fun anymore. Like it wasn't about me being on camera and interviewing some of my favorite people or being on camera producing. It was about numbers. This is not making numbers. It needs to make this many numbers. And then the market became so saturated. So something happened in me where I was like, I took time off for 2 weeks in the summer and it just came to me, it was time to sell. I was like, it's time to sell. And I was like, what do I do next? And I said, well, what would I do next if I sold the company? It would be to pursue my lifelong dream of acting. And I had executive produced a beauty competition show that year with Kim Kardashian. It was with Makeup by Mario. Laverne Cox was the host.
Wait, you already started your beauty company?
Not yet. No, it was like, yeah. So I had done it. I had executive produced a beauty competition show, and the show was on Lifetime. It was artists fighting to be on Kim Kardashian's makeup squad. And so I was like, well, I love beauty and I love, I love acting. So if I could sell my company, I would go into this space. And I don't know how, but I want to go into this space, right? So that's August. In October 29, I got the contract to sell my company. And by November 4th, I was sold. The company was sold. And then months later, check this out, the pandemic happened. So if I had kept the company during the pandemic, that company would have been worth zero. Because when the pandemic hit, red carpet stopped, football games stopped, basketball games stopped. So I was so lucky that I was able to sell the company at a perfect time. But I have to tell you something. I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off at that time. It was that 2 weeks that I took off, that I was in silence on vacation, not looking at my phone, that the message came to me. It's like time to sell. Like you have to pivot.
I believe in that. You know me. I'm like, you always have to, especially if you ask universe what to do, you have to listen for that answer and to follow through with it. Because a lot of times we get messages
we ignore
it. We're so busy in our life that it's like you will see the sign, but you don't act on it.
Yeah. And I think sometimes the message gets louder and louder when you're not listening, right?
Yes.
So by the time I got to that point where I was on vacation, I was already starting to get really the message was getting really loud for me, but I wasn't hearing it. And it was in silence where it was loud and clear for me. But I think the message was coming to me for a while. I would say 3 years before I sold. I didn't really put it energetically, I'm ready. 3 years later.
Plus, I'm pretty sure you were thinking okay, when I sell, what I'm gonna do? Then I'm gonna be jobless. I know you always need to create. You need to do something. You need to know your next step before you're gonna exit.
Yeah, that is so true. While I was in my final year with the company, I was playing around with ingredients in my kitchen just to help with my eczema. I have eczema, bad skin conditions. This didn't start till after I had Colette, who's now actually going to turn 10 next week. So it's now 10 years ago that I had these issues that I started playing with ingredients in my kitchen. And it's so funny because when I got here today, I said to you, I need some blush. And you're like, take my lipstick. I don't have blush. This is what our grandmas did. They had one product back in communist days in Russia and Armenia, right? And they would use I was I don't even know if my grandma in Armenia had a lipstick. I mean, they were they probably just took the rose petals and squeezed the water out and just, right? So you gave me the lipstick and I just put it on my cheeks and here we have blush, right? So it's so funny because I like to take a lot of stuff in my house that's people would throw out and I use it for skincare. When I make coffee, the residue at least, I take it and I use it as a scrub.
I do it every single morning when I clean the thing. I use it every day for the hands.
It's
every
amazing.
single day.
That's why your hands look polished. It's because of the like coffee
I mean,
scrub.
I think we Eastern Europeans have so many secrets. Like everybody's always like, "What's your secret?" I'm like, "Hey, listen, like there is always like my grandma used to take strawberry and just put it on the face,
Yeah.
or like a cucumber, like all these things. Like the same as you, I use it all."
And it's probably like because they didn't have like when when I hear about my family how they lived in Armenia during the Soviet Union, they didn't have money. They
Yes.
had to be creative, and
Well, I don't think it was even that many products back
had no
then.
products,
Even if they
yeah.
had the money, there was nothing to buy.
right. It was the iron, iron
Yes.
borders.
I
Like,
remember we were waiting in line for bananas. Like, come
Wow.
on, like nobody had the products like this or the patch. Like if you tell, the patch was the black tea. After you drink it, you put that as a patch. Eye
Wow.
patch, you remember?
oh yeah, what's so funny? My mom, every time I have an eye infection, which hasn't happened in a long time, thank God, but she's always like, put the eye tea, like put the
Black
tea,
tea,
Black
yes.
tea.
That was
Wait,
the
so
eye,
here's-
or a cucumber. That's
By
the
the
eye
way,
patch.
next time you eat a banana, use the banana peel on your skin.
I've
It's
heard it.
It's the best thing. Use the banana peel on your skin.
I've heard it.
It's the best thing.
And I've heard because I have, after kids, I have melasma. Like,
Oh,
there's-
yeah, it's the best
Like
thing.
kids change your face. Like,
Kiss shit. I mean, just even right now, we could have started the show because I was like, I have to talk to Colette before she goes,
they run the show.
they run the show. I know. So, it's
So what was your first product?
So when I launched the beauty brand, it was, listen, for 4 years, I was working in my kitchen playing with ingredients. The first ingredient I played with, it has to do with my mom. So my mom went to Morocco and she was in the bazaars walking, and then she noticed the prickly pear seed oil. And she noticed it was like everywhere. Like every step she took, they were selling this oil. So she asked about the oil. They were like, it helps with eczema. And she was like, what? My daughter just got this bad case of eczema. This is 10 years ago, right? The same time when I had Colette. And so my mom tells me, look into this ingredient. It helps with eczema. So my mom is basically the reason the beauty brand started. And, what's so funny is because when I started my YouTube company, I started out of my parents' garage, and literally my mom was there every morning, like making breakfast for me and being like, when are you going to get a real job? You left that job at Paramount Studios where a million girls would die for, and now you're here back home. Like, is this why you went to university, to be back home? So my mom always helps jumpstart my projects.
Well, I think my mom does the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like, what about this? So it's like, this is not good enough. It's like,
it's never
Mom,
good enough.
It's never good enough. Okay, that's a
Never gonna-
Russian Armenian
and my
thing.
mom is very funny because she's like, she sends me these videos. I don't know if she's gonna like me saying this, but she sends me these videos where it's about like kids who have therapists are not close to their mothers anymore. And I go, Mom, I talk to you like 15 times a day, so I don't know what like this is. But okay, sure. Like she thinks like now because I have a life coach, I have a therapist, like it makes me and her not as close, right? But it is true. Like parents that come from that generation, from that part of the world, it's never
They're
enough.
very different. And my mom says, like, listen, like, I didn't experience that kind of love you expect or you give to your children from my parents. So it's a generational, that's how they were raised. They
Right.
were very, short on
yes.
love and expressing emotions. Everything was just proper.
And it was a weakness, I think. People who come from that part of the world, it's almost like a weakness to show love.
Yes. Yes.
It's like as if you're not like strong enough. And I think I have to give them a little grace because they all endured such hardship, right? Like you
Yeah.
have to be strong in
Yes.
order to be able to live like that.
Exactly.
Right?
But to me also, I feel like there's much stronger generation in general, to be honest with you, because they were taught from early on how to overcome things,
Yeah.
how to be resilient, how to, like whatever, like in Russia happens, they're like, oh, okay, that's not a big deal. Like here, the kids, they don't know what to do with life. When pandemic happened, everybody was like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. And I'm like laughing. I'm like, well, I'm very happy my kids get to see what I saw growing up. And to me, it's not a big deal.
So I don't know much about, like, we never have talked about, like, your upbringing. So were you born in Russia?
I was born in Moscow. I was there
Wow.
until 19. I mean, I was raised in a middle-class family, but I still remember the first chewing gum, the first black and white, colored TV. I remember those things. I remember
Wow.
when we didn't have, all these things. That's why when pandemic, I was like, I'm so happy my kids are going to see a different side of the world and get to live through it and get to adjust what it is if something like this happens, because like everything is possible in this life. But what do you do during these moments? That's the survival skill that I think our parents have, and our generation is not. Like our generation of the kids, they don't teach them.
What's so interesting is I feel like I've become so, like lately, I just use so many like tools for things. Like I've forgotten how to do things without tools. Like for example, like chat, like I do a lot of my email correction on ChatGPT. I don't even know. I'm like, wait, can I even write an email right now? I have to like have ChatGPT do my errors and spell check. I feel like I'm guilty of being so addicted to technology where I don't know if you threw me in the middle of the woods if I would survive. Like I don't know if I would survive. I wouldn't know what to do. I'm so used to like using.
But I think using ChatGPT just being smart because it saves you time. But I feel like if they throw you in the woods, you would know what to do because that's a survival skill that's just born in you.
You think,
like,
okay, so
and because you have a background where you're like, you know what, I'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
Like our kids are different. I don't think they will know what to do. Like, did you?
We have to like probably work on that harder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, like now my son is 13 and we're looking at high schools and things. And there's a lot of times he comes home and I'm like, you know what, Josh, like you figured it out. Like I can't always answer your things. You're going to have to learn how to fail and how to, get up and move forward.
Right.
I can't do everything for you.
Right. So it's interesting because that is a topic that I keep hearing over and over about how people of all ages right now are so scared to fail because if you fail now, it's out in front of people. Do you know what I'm saying? If you failed back in the day.
I tell my kids, I'm sorry, like you're growing up in a generation where everything is on picture mode, TikTok. Everything is, when we were growing up, when I was growing up, nobody knew what I was doing at 15, 16, 17, 18. And it's not that we were not doing things. It just, nobody has a picture of it.
Right.
So I tell my daughter, I'm like, whatever you do, just remember, the colleges look at it. It will always be there. But I think it's much harder for their generation because of the body imaging, like they compare themselves. They see things that's not, the filters, that's not real.
Right.
I think it's definitely for their mental health. It's much harder to be a teenager these days than in ours because first of all, when I was a teenager, like nobody gave me so much time to think about the things they think.
Right.
We didn't have that. Like I didn't look at a girl next door and like, oh my God, like my thighs are too big or my this is not good enough. It was never like that. So for them, it's much harder because they always compare what's the next thing or what's this, or they have to be popular on TikTok. They have to have this. It's harder, but at the same time, it's much easier because I think there's so much tools from therapists to parents who talk to them, who understand, who teachers so kind. Like, I didn't have that. I was like, hey, that's not good enough. Redo.
You get hit by a ruler.
Yes, exactly. And that's why it's like, I think it's pros and cons, but I do teach my kids that failure is okay because unless, listen, and I always tell Alexis like this. I said, look, a year from now, imagine if you failed 10 times, one time it actually made it. Would you remember about the other 9? No. But if you just not even trying, then a year from now, nothing happens.
And that's like, it's interesting because when I look back to my career, because I've done so much, I'm like, wait, with like so many triumphs, I've had so many failures. If I've had one triumph, there's been like 100 failures, right? But I do feel like right now in this day and age, it's really hard for people to like launch things, do things, because the biggest thing they have is that fear of failure. And that is so like prominent in like people in all ages. And I feel like the one thing I like to tell myself is like, every time I've had a setback, it's always prepared me for a bigger comeback.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, what did I do wrong here? What could I have done better? And then it also opens your eye to taking a different lane. Like, so when I sold my company, I was like, all right, what do I do now? And with, it's interesting because that was 5 years ago. within 5 years, there's been so many changes that right now everyone's talking about like being a creator, having your own brand. When I launched my beauty brand, I wasn't thinking about being a brand founder. And, you know, now I'm trendy. I'm like a brand founder.
Now
with
you're
a voice.
everywhere, from Neiman Marcus to like
I know, and
everywhere.
it's crazy.
Macy's everywhere.
Yeah, and it's crazy because when I started 5 years ago, it wasn't a trend. It's just what I needed. So I think the most important thing in life, no matter what you do, is to be authentic.
Yes.
Because when you're authentic and true to like what you're doing, because there's a purpose behind it, it is bound to be successful. Every time I've done a project where it's not aligned authentically, like I've done it because someone said for me to do it, or it felt like it was a good option to do, or a good career move, it's always backfired because it wasn't authentic to my voice and it wasn't aligned. But like when things are aligned, it happens and it like grows and it, you know, it builds. And I just feel like follow what is true to you, authenticity. If you feel like this talk show is authentic to you at this point of your life, coming off of your book, which was so successful, then you do it. And it's going to be successful because it's so in line and in tune with like what's authentic to you. There is no way it's not going to succeed. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if we're chasing trends because it's trendy, like for example, I have one of the most successful sheet masks because it's one of the cleanest sheet masks on the market. Now, is it innovative? Is it fancy? No, it just got clean ingredients, no fillers, no silicone, no toxins, and it heals. It works. So if you have dry and sensitive skin, it works. But I always have labs pitching me these like new and cool and innovative masks, and then I look into it, I'm like, but this isn't clean, and it's a lot of silicone in there, and you know, so, but they're like, but this is what's selling. I'm like, yes, I get it. It's trending on TikTok, but like I go this route, it diminishes the whole reason why I created the brand. So I have to daily ask myself, is this aligned with my mission? Is this aligned with why I started this brand? Is this aligned with what the whole, ideology of the beauty brand is? And if it's not aligned, I don't do it. And it's hard because sometimes you're like, well, everybody else is doing it. Should I just do it? That's the way it's going. I think like sometimes it's better to go opposite of where everybody else is going. I think like sometimes it's better to go opposite of where everybody else is going. Like when you go opposite of where everybody else is going, that's when you're disrupting industries. That's where you become like the pioneer, the innovator, and like you get more attention. I think if I just went the route of becoming a host at Entertainment Tonight and E! News, E! News just got canceled.
Yes.
So it's like, where would it have left me? But look at me, like that setback of not getting that job because of X, Y, and Z led me for 15 years to be a creator, have my own studio, sell it, and now like I'm pursuing my passions. And on top of all that, when I went to direct my movie, my first feature I did this year about the 2020 war in Armenia and the ethnic cleansing against the Armenians in 2022, everything I learned in 15 years as a creator came to play when I was making that movie. So when I was doing content for 15 years, I didn't wear a hat that says director. I was that director. I was the host. I was a producer. Sometimes I was the editor. Like I've done every job, right? And so all that came into play when I'm making this, low budget documentary. Because the documentary I raised around $60,000. It probably cost up to like, I would say with everyone's free time and fees and footage, I think it cost like 6-7 times the amount I raised. But because of the small budget I had, I knew how to make this documentary because I'm like, I've done this before. I know how to work all jobs and I know how to work on no budget. So 15 years of like the work came into play, it was like a full circle moment. Yeah. So I think like, never like look back and be like, what if, I think the best thing to do is like,
I think everything in life that teaches you or prepares you for your next step.
Yeah.
And it is true because, I wrote a book, Divorce as Opportunity, and I realized that it's so much harder to start all over later in life because at 19, you're like, oh my God, I have my whole life ahead of me. Like I can fail so many times and I can start all over. Once you are older, and especially when you have kids or responsibilities, this is where the fear, not just the fear of being judged, but the fear of like, because you know what it feels to, not to succeed. You have responsibility, you're responsible for so many people or other things.
Right.
And that's what comes in. But to me, I'm like, listen, you know, at the end of the day, as long as what you do you love so much, it's not wasted time.
No.
And you're always trying, and you never know. And you put your heart exactly like you said, and people see that. They feel it. And they
People
know
feel it when it's real or
yes.
not. People see the authenticity. They feel when it's like just marketing. They feel when it's like not authentic. You know, one thing I have to say about being a mom is you start prioritizing, right?
Yes.
You're like, I think like the benefit of it is like, I have time for this. I don't have time for that, you know, but like, I think when I was younger, I would stay, you know, I think just only a couple years ago, I was saying yes to a lot of things. Now, like the most powerful thing I've learned is to say no. Yeah. Sorry, no, I can't do that. And actually not even explain.
Yes, it's about preserving time. I do the same now. It's about like, hey, if you just like go to lunch with my girlfriend, I'm like, you know what? I'll just stay home. And you just, for me, I just spend my time differently now, especially because I have to share my kids with my ex-husband. So I only see them 50% of the time.
How has that been for you? Like, because you're so hands-on mom and you're
you
so
know,
involved.
my kids are now older. My son is 13. My daughter is 17. I mean, I was at 15. I was ready to live by myself. So I think my kids are at the age where they're fine with me not being there 100%.
Right.
I don't want them to be, you know, dependent on my presence. And they're very self-sufficient. They learned so that there was the best thing that ever happened to them, like in a sense of becoming self-sufficient. They had to learn. It's like going to boarding school. Some kids go starting at 8. So why my kids cannot do it? It's not like they're going to boarding school. They're just going to dad. It's, you know, two loving families. I think it's for them, you know, they're great. They're doing good.
I think like that's like a great like quality to have in this day and age, is to be independent. I think it's
exactly independence.
Yeah.
And I tell my kids, like, listen, like my daughter, she drives herself, and I'm not one of those paranoid parents. I mean, I do have 360 app to follow.
I have a helicopter mom. She just saw me. I was like, okay, as soon as you get to the house,
but she's
call
not.
me.
It's different. You know, I think because first of all, you're still married, and she's 9. When I was like that when we were together, but when you get divorced, you learn to disattach.
Oh, wow.
You learn to let go. You learn that the other partner is in charge of your kids, while you can't call them 10 times and tell them like, okay, did they eat? Did they do? Because he's like, thank you so much. That's my time. I'm capable of handling. So you learn so much to let go and be okay with that. And once you get to that stage, you're like, okay, well, it's their problem. You know, like in Russia, we have a joke. If it's the first kid, like you wash and sterilize all the bottles. So the second kid, you just wash them. Or the third kid is like, okay, if he ate from a cat's bowl, it's a cat's problem. That's similar, you know. It's like, now it's my kid's problem. Like, hey, like, you better wake up the nanny to take it to school if you're not there. But that's how it goes. You're in a different mode. And that's why when I take my kids, Josh was going to a camp with a school for a week, and I see all these moms like, oh my God, like you this, you that. And Josh is like, bye, Mom, you don't have to get out of the car. Because he's used to being without me. And I love it. I love him feeling and knowing he's going to be okay being alone.
I think that's a big thing I think that's a big thing for me, for my kids to have, is independence. Because right now it's like, I'm a helicopter mom and I'm proud of it. Like I mean, maybe I need to like work on
it's also because of your heritage. That's, you know, it's it's like you are, and I'm pretty sure your mom is on top of you. You have a helicopter on top of a helicopter.
She called me before I got here, and then by the time I leave here, I'm gonna have to call her, Mom, I'm done. And the best is, she's like, you don't call me as much. I go, I literally call you up at every bathroom break. Like I talk to you 8 times a day.
But that's the thing, you know, it's a generational attachment that you have to break at some point so it doesn't go.
I know. I'm hoping they like stay at home for college.
No, okay, but you need to send them to like summer camp somewhere. Does your school? I'm pretty sure your school does it.
They haven't done sleepover camp. No, I have like anxiety even thinking about it.
Okay, you'll get to that part. But okay, so let's get back. How did you get back into acting and producing from your house?
So here's the thing: the last 5 years, I acted in 3 movies. And
wow, congratulations.
Yeah, and I directed and produced and wrote my first feature. Right now, we're waiting to hear from film festivals to see which film festival we're into. And I'm really proud of what I did. I had the most amazing team to work with. It was me and my filmmaker friends in Hollywood, storyteller friends. We all came together because we felt like this issue wasn't getting a lot of media coverage, and we were kind of like, this is a problem, we need to solve it. And I always believe if you feel like there's a need for something, do it. And so we got together, we raised money, we went to Armenia, and we interviewed all the survivors of the ethnic cleansing. And listen, it was important for me and my producing partners because we're all descendants of the first genocide. So for me, I was like, what did my great grandparents deal with as kids when they were found as orphans? And when I interviewed some of these survivors, and I went to an orphanage where I saw all these kids that most of them don't have parents or don't have a dad because they were soldiers. And I just know that like 100 years from now, their great grandkids who are going to be my age could see this movie and be like, wow, that's my great grandmother or great grandfather, and that's what they went through. Because when you have this kind of archival footage, it's hard for the world to be like, it didn't happen.
Yes.
So, with the genocide of 1915, a lot of people say that was deportation. It wasn't ethnic cleansing. It was ethnic cleansing, but people could say that and they could possibly get away with it. With something like this in this modern day age when there's cell phones and there's recordings and obviously this movie, there's other movies that have been made by other people too, not just me. It's going to be hard from 100 years from now that people be like, no, that wasn't a 9-month blockade. That's bullshit. No, it's real. These people went through it. Here's photos and videos of them waiting in line for hours to have like a small piece of black bread, right?
Yes.
For me, it's exciting that we're submitting to film festivals, and it's exciting that I've directed my first feature, and it's exciting that I got support from my community. But I think it's even more important that like 100 years from now, it'll be like a piece of history.
Yes. Exactly. You making that history down the line so everybody can see it and remember it.
Yeah.
Because that's what I feel these days, especially in America, they really don't know the history. Like we learn, like I learned in Russia the history of all the European countries and our history. And in America, I see my kids, they don't really go that deep into what happens.
Right.
And I think maybe there is a purpose for that. Maybe they just don't want to because there's so much sadness,
right.
And there is, everybody's changing.
Well, I think it's like the thing about history is a lot of things are brushed under the table, under the rug.
Yes.
And I think the most important thing is to face and get uncomfortable and face like reality. Even when, I could only talk about my project, right? Like I had to get very uncomfortable and be in situations where I'm talking to someone who doesn't have a leg, doesn't have an arm, lost everything, lost his whole unit, and it's uncomfortable, like to be in that position and discuss uncomfortable topics, but you have to get uncomfortable to get the truth.
Yeah.
So I think like it's so important to not brush things under the table and just actually confront it and just be like, this happened.
Was it hard to prepare for this whole
Yeah,
trip?
so it's interesting because I was working on it for 2 years, and the last year alone was a lot of the filming and editing, right? And I didn't realize how much it took a toll on me until I would go out in LA, and I would go out to places with my friends, and I just couldn't sit there. Like I just was like mentally in the movie, and it was hard for me to like stop the movie in my head and be present with my friends in LA. Like even dinners, like I couldn't do it. I would leave. Like even dinners, like I couldn't do it. I would leave. I didn't go to too many events in the last year. Like, we met in Cannes Film Festival. That's before I went to film the movie. So it was like, I think
it's meant to be there.
Yeah.
Like it's a good start and it's going to end there.
Yeah, I hope so. But I think like I did take like 2 years off of my social life, and I think it's just because it was heavy and I was just in that world, like method acting. I was in that world and I didn't get out of it till I finished the movie.
But I feel like it's also because that's where you're coming from. It wasn't just a movie about that.
Yeah.
It was like you were, or
like,
maybe you psychologically were reliving your past generational.
So true. I do believe in what you just said. I believe that like I cleared a little bit off of my ancestral trauma, of that transgenerational trauma, they call it, right? I do feel like I healed from that because I didn't even realize I had that till the 2020 war. It all came about, and I'm like, well, why do I feel this? I live in America. I was born and raised here. Like, why do I feel this way? But it's true. It's like genetics. It's DNA. It's in your blood.
There's sometimes like you have no idea, you know, people talk about it, but then you realize it's in you. It's in you. Every chromosome you have, you know, it's there. That's how I feel like I see with my mom and things that I always say like, okay, like, and I love my mom. She's my biggest support, but there's certain things I'm like, okay, I don't want to do this to my kids because I want to finally like put the stop. Like it has to
ends
change.
with you.
It ends with me. Exactly. I want to give them a choice. And that's what I love about, I feel, their generation. There's so many options and choices. And which when I was growing up, I didn't have a lot of them, but now I give my kids choice. I don't want to be in control of their life. I don't want to dictate what they have to do, where they have to go. I always tell them, I'm here to support whatever you want to do, but you have to make that choice.
That's beautiful.
It's your life.
Yeah.
I'll be there. I'll be guiding you if you let me, but you have to make a choice, be accountable for it. If it didn't work out, you just move forward. That's it.
That's beautiful. All right, I'm going to call you up. Keni, tell me again, what am I supposed to do today? Like, I just woke up, like, what do I do?
But listen, you do a lot. Like you're still doing the brand. What's the next thing about the brand? Let's talk about this amazing thing. Okay.
So this is the beauty brand. So I launched it 5 years ago. It's been the best journey for me. I create products with exotic ingredients that heal. It's funny because you and I talked about our grandmas using ingredients from their backyard to, you know, do makeup or heal their skin. I'm going back to what our ancestors did, like ethnic indigenous populations. What did they do before the lasers, before everything? And I'm getting those clean ingredients. I'm creating clean products with clean packaging, ethically sourced materials, and I'm creating products that heal your skin. So if you have dry and sensitive skin, my brand is for you. I created this because I needed it, just simple as that. And it's been amazing. We're in Macy's, we're in Bloomingdale's, Neiman Marcus, Revolve. And this is my latest products. It's the eye patches, the matcha green tea eye patches. Okay, I know you have a long, I'm going to open one and show you guys. I know you have a long day to go with interviews. This isn't like your last interview, but you know, after this, guess what? I have the night out. Woo!
Oh my God, I want to join.
So I'm going to show you. These are vegan collagen made out of plants, matcha green tea, and it helps with,
okay, now we're like QVC.
Oh, yeah, here we are. I'm
here.
Like,
this is cold now, and you can get this.
This is part of my outfit. Like, we're going to make this a trend. This is a new trend. Go on interviews.
The green is very in.
Green is in. It's the matcha color. Do you drink matcha latte?
You know, I'm not a big matcha fan, but...
Maybe you might be of the eye patches. If you don't like
yes, I agree. I love the eye patches. Definitely.
I'm going to let it like marinate.
I just love it. How many products do you have in your?
So we have, our best-selling one is the face oil and the sheet mask. Those are always sold out, go viral.
But you know, it's funny because usually when I use face oil, I always have breakouts. Not from yours.
Wait, that's amazing. See, this makes me so happy.
No, seriously. My skin is the most pickiest skin in the world. I remember one time I was somewhere at the store and they're like, oh, we are organic and this, try this. And I put it on and I immediately have reaction, and they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So I never use oil on my face. Even if I do, I wipe it off right away.
Right. Mine is a dry oil. It goes quick.
But mine is a dry, but it gets clogged. And I tried yours and I was like, wow. I tried it even every night. And I was like, the first night, I'm like, okay, let me try it again. Too. I'm like, I did that because I watched you. And it's amazing. So I swear by her face oil that you can put it on and it's not oily based. No, I don't know. It's dry so oil. Light. Yeah. Yes, it's really amazing.
It's the prickly pear gets sucked in by your skin. Also, there's only a few ingredients in the back of the box. There's not much in there. I like working with oils because I don't have to use like fillers and like preservatives. Like it's as clean as can be. The prickly pear seed oil itself is heavy and it smells bad, so I've created a nice blend. But it's a bestseller. It is always sold out, and it's used by some of the biggest people in Hollywood, which is awesome. And big beauty influencers, and just like the people who buy the product, they keep coming back for more because it works. It helps, and I'm really proud for the price range too. It's not expensive. Yeah. It's You know, it's affordable. Everything I make is around $40, $50. The eye patches is less than $30. You have 10 in there. So I try to be like conscious of that and just create things that really help people and heal them.
So when you start thinking about the next product, is it something that
I need.
you need?
I'm the
or
guinea
you
pig.
see like, okay, if this girl, like this say actress will use like,
No.
or it's something,
If
it's all about you, what you need or what's
you know,
not on
also,
the market.
when I created-
Okay, I need something for melasma. Can you please do it next?
Okay, so we'll talk about that. So here's what I was gonna say. When I created the body oil,
I want Keni's next product. Like last time it was, I had my girlfriend and she's like, oh, and she's a jewelry designer. She's like, oh, you didn't know I created a Keni's necklace. I'm like, I didn't know. So now I want a Keni's something melasma thing
Okay,
from
done.
you.
Well, how about this? Like, you need to look into what's gonna help you with your skin, and you create your own brand.
Okay, thank you.
This is like your story. I think like nowadays, like, and I don't think you're a competition to me because
Yes,
my
no.
story
I wanted to do
is different from
sunscreen
your
because
story.
I know I need that.
But that's what I'm saying. Nowadays, brands are based on like, who's the founder? Do I relate to them? Are they in the same like values as I am? What is that person selling? Is it going to help me? So if you come out and you're like, hey, I created this product because it helps with melasma, people are going to buy it from you more than me because you created it, because you had a problem and this is your story.
and you solved it. I love it. I love
like,
you. You're always giving me ideas. Like
yeah. So if I say, oh, I made this
That's
product.
why I love you, because you always have a solution to every problem. Like, oh, you have melasma, just create your own brand. Like, come on, Keni, like you can do it. Like you did the book, you did the talk
Keni,
show.
if anybody could do it, it's you. If anyone could do it, it's her. I wouldn't
You
tell
sound so like my mom. It's like, what? You can't do it?
I gotta
That's
talk
how
to
she
your mom.
motivates me always.
I'm like, I want to talk to your mom. She seems like fun.
Oh my God. So
My mom would actually love you, because my mom is like, she would love you from like head to toe, your fashion. She'd be all about it.
Oh, I wanna
I'll let you
meet
to speak
your
to my mom, and you could. I'll talk to your mom.
Yes,
Yeah.
that sounds good.
Does
And
your mom
on
make good
this-
borscht?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I'm going over. She in LA?
No, she's in Orange County. But
Oh,
it's
okay, I'm done. I'm going over. She could
That's
make borscht.
it. And on this note, we're going to end
Aw.
our show. I know I loved having you, and we had
Yeah.
so much fun, and there's so much more we can talk. And of course, I wanted to ask you the last question. What's next for you?
So right now we're waiting to see for There's No Place Like Home. We're gonna have it be out next year in 2026. And Diana Madison Beauty, we have more products coming out, a moisturizer and face mist, which I'm really excited. And I just filmed the movie Other Side of Fame. It's coming out in 2026. I play this character Mia, who is this fearless woman, and I had the most amazing cast on this film. So I can't wait for it to come out.
Well, I'm very, very proud of you.
Oh, thank
First of all,
you.
for chasing your dreams.
Always.
And never stopping, and I can't wait to see everything that
Aw.
you do.
I
Thank
love you.
I love you.
I know. And I'm proud of you. I'm like, when I met you, you didn't have a book. When I met you, you
know.
were like just getting everything together, and look how far you've come.
It's beautiful to see each other grow,
Yeah.
right? It's like you look back and you're like, oh my God, do you remember when I just met you? You didn't have this, and now you have this. And it's a beautiful thing. And you know what I love? I get so inspired from women like you.
Aw.
That's what pushes me like, okay, next thing, like you just said, like, okay, maybe I'll think about that.
You need to look into it. I
I'm
mean,
gonna look into it.
that
I
is the
know where
world.
to come for advice.
yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
that's
come
the
to you.
world we live in. Like, it's
Yes.
not about, it's about storytelling.
Yeah.
So you could be a lawyer or doctor. You're still going to tell your story of why you became a lawyer or doctor. Like, it's an age of storytelling, and I consider myself a storyteller.
You are a storyteller.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for watching In Heels with Keni Silva. And today we had Diana Madison.
I go.